Hello and welcome to another awesome video on the Disabled Explorer YouTube channel. Hope everyone's having a great Wednesday and a great week so far. We're over the hump right now, so we're heading down to the weekend. Hope everyone has an awesome weekend planned. I know it's early, but still. Today I'm going to go over what went down on WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. For those who didn't get quite to watch it, I watched a little bit of it since I was out, and I apologize for not doing a live stream of night 1 or night 2. I was busy, as I said in the previous video, but I watched the replay of it the next day, and I took some notes. So here we go. Welcome to the Disabled Explorer's review of Night 1 of WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. This event is the culmination or the build-up of more than a year of storylines. Most of the feuds have been built up in recent months, but Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns have been fighting on and off since the American Nightmare won the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble match last year. And he won again this year. He came up short last year, but managed to win the Rumble for a second time in a row in January. To earn another shot at the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Before Rhodes takes on the Tribal Chief, however, one-on-one on Sunday, he competed in a tag team match alongside Seth freaking Rollins and against Reigns and The Rock, the Tribal Chief, and the final boss. Here is a look at the full card for Saturday Night 1 show. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch, the man for the Raw Women's Championship. Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. The Judgment Day versus DIY versus The Awesome Truth versus the New Catch Republic versus the New Day versus A-Town Down Under for the Tag Team Championships, both Raw and SmackDown titles. Jey Uso, brother versus Jimmy Uso. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi versus Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai. Rey Mysterio faced off with Andrade against Santos Escobar and Rey's son, Dominic Mysterio. The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins, as I said above. And let's take a look at everything that happened during Night 1 of WrestleMania 40. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's World Championship. After Coco Jones sang beautifully the national anthem, Triple H comes out to welcome everyone to the 40th WrestleMania. He was awesome, by the way. Becky Lynch then had a special entrance with her narrating select quotes from her new book, which is out, on Amazon and other local locations. Rhea Ripley was played to the ring by the band Motionless in White. They got to work after the bell rang, and the man scored the first major takedown with a flying dropkick that sent the champion out of the ring. The Eradicator took control and began beating Lynch in the corner, but never felt like either woman had the upper hand for too long. These two are known for being willing to have physical matches that push their limits. So it shouldn't surprise any one of us that they made this feat like a highly competitive fight. We saw a lot of great individual moves and sequences. Lynch focused a lot of her attention on the arm of Rhea Ripley, and Rhea had in a cast. Rhea had her arm in a cast due to an injury until last Friday to set for her finisher. But the Eradicator locked in her signature move, a standing reverse cloverleaf, before the man could apply her trademark armbar. This was a perfect match to put the opening spot if it wasn't going to be in the main event. Both superstars did an excellent job making every near fall count and selling every big move. After countering the manhandle slam from the middle rope, the Eradicator hit the riptide into the turnbuckle before hitting another in the middle of the ring to score the win and retain her Raw Women's World title. Mommy will continue her year-long reign of dominance after an outstanding match with the man, Becky Lynch. Bravo to both women. Notable moments of the match: a 2-hour pre-show with 0 matches, which happened from 5 until 7, and amazing gear. Ripley also had a long extension in her hair for a new look. The way the camera was showing everyone during their entrances was interesting. It might have been an 8K camera. 8K camera, yeah. Ripley had hit a really nice Northern Lights suplex followed by an awesome sequence with Lynch, countering a suplex into an inside cradle, only for the champion to power her back up for a suplex anyway. A six-pack ladder match was next. Tag team title belts, both Raw and SmackDown title belts. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, R-Truth and The Miz, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods challenged Finn Balor and Damian Priest, at that time Senior Money in the Bank Damian Priest, for their tag titles in a six-pack ladder match. Ladder matches are so chaotic in most cases, but when you have 12 men fighting over 2 sets of belts, you are going to have something that can be a hit, that can be a bit hard to follow, but a lot of fun at the same time. Truth had some great comedy spots, including a moment when he thought he won by pinfall. Theory and Waller took down the SmackDown titles in awesome fashion, I should add, to claim those titles, and not too long into the match. That's what happened. But other teams stopped them before they could grab the Raw belts. We can argue until the cows come home about whether the right teams won. But the important thing is that the titles are finally split after all this time between Raw and SmackDown, and each brand will have its own set of championships again. It was a long, hard time without them. We saw some fun spots and moments, but this won't stand out among the long list of ladder matches in WWE history. It was a lot of fun, and the crowd was very vocal, but it was mostly just a series of big spots with only a bit of storytelling thrown in for the mix. After years of being a beloved goofball, R-Truth finally got his WrestleMania moment. Yes, I was so happy about that. When he climbed the ladder and took down the Raw Tag Team Championships to end an enjoyable contest. The Miz climbed up the ladder and hugged him to celebrate their victory as the crowd cheered. So both The Miz and R-Truth are Raw Tag Team Champions. Results: A-Town Down Under won the SmackDown Tag Team titles, and Awesome Truth won the Raw Tag Team titles, as I just said. Notable moments and observances. Gargano and Shawn Michaels had Shawn Michaels inspired gear, and Ciampa looked a bit like Triple H. Xavier Woods was channeling his days as a Consequence Creed. Consequences Creed a bit with his gear. Priest and Balor had cool masks for their entrance. Michael Cole calling out the entrances video mistake for done. Wait. Michael Cole called out an entrance video a mistake for Dunn and Bate. It was kind of funny. I apologize for that correction. The belts being hung separately made it almost too obvious how this would end. Priest took out Dunn and Bate in a brutal way, but by using the ladder as a missile to take the former off the ladder. Lawler looks like took a powerbomb out of the ring and threw a ladder that looked great. J.D. McDonough took a big bump from a ladder through some tables outside the ring. Sorry about that. In his attempt to help the Judgment Day retain. Andrade and Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio match was next. Angel, Berto, and Elektra Lopez may not have been competing, but they all had new gear and some cool looks to accompany Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio to the ring. Rey Mysterio and Andrade and the LWO were also decked out in special gear. As expected, this was a fast-paced and exciting match. Rey, Andrade, and Escobar are celebrated veterans, and Dom made a big improvement since joining the main roster. All four men wanted to mix some classic lucha styles with WWE signature styles of wrestling. While it would have been nice for everyone who was in the ring to be in a bigger match, it was probably a good idea to keep this as a 2-on-2 contest, so these four superstars could shine brighter. The LWO and Legado del Fantasma eventually got involved at ringside, and Wild did the same slingshot move he has done a few times before. Two men in masks prevented Dominic Mysterio from using a steel chair and allowed Rey Mysterio to hit a 619, followed by a splash to Escobar in the middle of the ring for the win. Philadelphia Eagles legends Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson were revealed to be under the masks and celebrated with the victorious Rey Mysterio and El Idolo Andrade. This was a bit of an overbooked match at the end, but it was an enjoyable one, with a couple of cameos to pop the local Philly fans. The result, Rey Mysterio and Andrade defeated Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Notable moments and observances of the match. Escobar's poncho was really cool. WWE needs to sell those for him, but maybe not as elaborate as this one. That would be too expensive, I would think. Andrade's spinning elbow caught Dominic square in the jaw. It looked really good, and Mysterio Jr. sold it well. The double cross-body spot from Andrade and Rey was awesome. Andrade's dragon screw had a little extra spice on it. I like that move. Zelina Vega almost completely missed the moonsault. As she tried to hit on Electra Lopez. Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso was next. WrestleMania has hosted brother versus brother matches before, with Bret Hart versus Owen Hart, Matt versus Jeff Hardy. But this was the first time two twin brothers fought at the showcase of the Immortals. Nikki and Brie fought on a pay-per-view, but never at a Mania. Jay hit a suicide dive before Jimmy even got in the ring to get the action started early. It looks a bit off for Jimmy to regain his footing, but once he did, he hit a few running hip strikes and to channel their father, Rikishi. The majority of this match was about telling a story rather than pulling out the most exciting sequences. In some moments, it worked, in others it failed. Like they were moving too slow and the crowd was beginning to check out. Yeah, it was kind of boring. I agree with yeah. Jay and Jimmy did a good job selling most of the emotional moments, and the crowd woke up quite a bit when Jimmy started begging Jay for forgiveness. Jay picked him up and hugged him before Jimmy popped him with a super kick and hit an Uso splash for a 2 count. Once Jay recovered, he hit his own Uso splash and got the pin. Not having Solo Sikoa get involved was the right call. This match was decent, but it didn't quite measure up for the WrestleMania card. On another pay-per-view, this might have been received better. And yeah, well, the results again was Jey Uso defeated Jimmy Uso. Notable moments and observances. The video package for this match was incredible. The WWE production team rarely misses with these. Rapper Lil Wayne came out to play Jey Uso to the ring. One of Jey's super kicks looked like it connected a bit more than planned, but Jimmy was fine. Damage Control versus Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Bianca Belair was next. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi had an epic entrance for their match against Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. They had a special elevator for an introduction. 6-person tag team matches usually follow pattern designed to give all competitors some time in the ring and at least one moment to shine. So there was usually a predictable flow. However, none of that mattered if the action is good, and there was plenty to enjoy here. Belair was as impressive as ever with her display of power and agility. When Cargill finally got tagged in to the match, the crowd lit up and she went after everyone on the opposing team. She easily caught Sane in midair and hit a backbreaker. She picked up the win for her team in a match that was good but shorter than expected. With a few more minutes, this would have been much more memorable. Cargill WrestleMania debut was a big success for her. The future of women's wrestling in WWE looks very bright, with competitors such as those involved here. So Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill are the future of women's wrestling. Results again: Cargill, Naomi, and Belair defeated Damage Control. Next match was Kevin Owens versus next match was Gunther versus Sami Zayn, for the Intercontinental Championship. Kevin Owens was there to wish Sami Zayn luck before he made his way into the arena to challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Zayn struck first and hit several chops to corner the ring general. This seemed to surprise Gunther with his aggression, but one German suplex completely killed his momentum. Zayn is a natural babyface, but against a monster heel like Gunther, he became even more of an underdog. The crowd was heavily behind him and chanted several times to show support. They structured this match exactly how you would expect. The champion dominated for a few minutes at a time. Zayn would make a comeback, and then Gunther would find a way to counter him and begin the cycle all over again. Both men had several visible bruises and bumps, but the surprising part was how much redder Gunther's chest was than Zayn's because of the Austrian is usually one giving out welts. He's usually the one, giving out welts on his chest. This was a physical as expected, and the inclusion of the challenger's family added to the emotion. Zayn survived some of Gunther's biggest moves, including a massive clothesline and 2 brutal powerbombs. The champ became more frustrated and started punishing the underdog from the underground while talking trash to his wife. Sammy's wife was in attendance in the crowd. He was toying with his opponent, but Zayn began showing signs of life. He nailed Gunther with a haluva kick, followed by a super brainbuster. He drilled Gunther with 2 more haluva kicks to get the pin and the win. Zayn is our new Intercontinental Champion after a physical and emotional match. Gunther's epic reign is finally brought to an end by the underdog from the underground. Gunther's reign was 666. Again, Sami Zayn defeated Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins match was next. The main event of Night 1 determined a stipulation for Night 2 when The Rock, the final boss, and Roman Reigns took on Cody Rhodes and Seth frickin' Rollins. It was more than 30 minutes between the end of Zayn's match and the beginning of this one. All 4 men stood in a stare down after the bell rang for a long time before Rollins and Reigns decided to start for their team. Start for their teams. The tribal chief took on the took Visionary down quickly and talked some trash about ending the match fast. When Rhodes was tagged in, he tried to take control, but quickly found himself on the defense. Rollins tagged back in and locked up with the final boss, The Rock, for his first match in 8 years. The Rock's first match in 8 years. Rocky easily pushed him down, but the Visionary just smiled and out-wrestled the Great One for a quick moment to show up. The first several minutes were quick exchanges and posturing, but things picked up a bit when Rhodes and The Rock were in the ring together. The Great One and Rollins ended up fighting into the crowd, but Rock told the ref he would fire him if he started counting him out in his role as a member of WWE Owners TKO Board of Directors. He actually said, "If you count, you're fired." And I don't fudge around. I'm using fudge, but yes. From that point forward, The Rock started cheating without worrying about any consequences. For a long time, this was all Rock and Reigns, decimating Rollins and Rhodes. This was all done in a way to make it seem like the baby faces were in an impossible position, and it worked. But it also made for a match that wasn't as exciting as it should have been. Nobody expected a 5-star classic, but they didn't do enough to make this feel worthy of being a main event. It was a bit slow. This was enjoyable from a sports entertainment standpoint, but it was lacking in the pro wrestling department. After a long and overbooked contest, The Rock pinned the Rhodes to win and make it so Sunday's match would be Bloodline rules. So night one ended with The Rock and Roman Reigns winning against the Cody Rhodes and Seth frickin' Rollins. And that was all on night one. Night two on Sunday, April 7th, went as follows. I'll try to make this short. The World Heavyweight Championship, Seth frickin' Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, kicked off the show on Sunday. McIntyre hit a Claymore as soon as the bell rang, leading to a quick near fall. McIntyre look, took the fight to Rollins on the floor with a belly-to-belly suplex before driving him into the ring post, but But Rollins came back with a pedigree before a stomp as McIntyre re-entered the ring. Rollins countered another Claymore with a second pedigree, and then a second stomp for a 2 count. All in all, Rollins lost the belt to Drew McIntyre, but as he was playing with CM Punk, who was on commentary for that match, he went up to him and he flaunted his title in his face, and Punk knocked out one of his legs. Knocked down one of Drew McIntyre's legs and started pounding on him with the cast arm. Then, as he's pounding him down near the commentary table, the music sounds and Senor Money in the Bank, Damian Priest, comes out, cashes in his briefcase, and beats Drew McIntyre a bit more, and ends with the pin. So we have a new World Heavyweight Champion in Damian Priest. The Final Testament, Karrion Kross, and Authors of Pain versus Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, in a Philadelphia street fight was next. Final Testament quickly took out the Street Profits, allowing them to triple team Lashley with kendo sticks. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins tried to get back in the game, only to take their own beatings from the AOP. I forgot to say that the special guest referee for this match, for the Final Testament versus Authors, versus Bobby Lashley and Street Profits, was none other than Philly's ECW Bubba Ray Dudley. Sorry about that. The Pride made their comeback with Lashley eventually locking in the Hurt Lock and on Karrion Kross, only for Scarlett to interfere again in the match to save Kross. Kross drove Lashley into the chair with a DDT, only to get a 2 count from the special guest referee, Bubba Ray Dudley, from the Dudley Boys, leading Kross to shove Dudley. Kross was then speared by Lashley, and Dudley then instructed Lashley and the Street Profits on how to finish off their match, eventually leading them to getting the tables, the first of which broke as score as soon as cross was placed on it. And then for a forward frog splash to put cross through the table, through the second finished table, to finish things off. The match was a mess and not as fun way to start the second night, but Snoop Dogg was on commentary as was an active distraction, and everything was clunky and did not work at all. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits defeated the Final Testament via pinfall, and it was a grade D match. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles went after Knight's knee from earlier moments in the match. There was a bunch of grounding him in and slowing things down. Knight quickly turned things around with some clotheslines and kicks before a superplex was countered, allowing Styles to take things back over. Knight hit a German suplex from the top rope, but shortly after, Styles was back in control again, working over Knight's knee, including wrapping it around the ring post. After Knight fought back, he removed some of the ringside padding, but AJ Styles reversed a pile driver into a backdrop and nearly won by countout. Knight countered a springboard 50 by getting his knees up, and Styles countered a BFT, blunt force trauma, nearly hitting a Styles clash, but Knight had a counter of his own. Moments later, nothing special. Knight countered Styles, again. This time, setting up the match-winning BFT. The match was nothing special, but was at the same time perfectly fine as a wrestling match. Knight was the right guy to get the win, since he needed it to boost, and Styles is in the club of WWE's made guys. LA Knight, defeated AJ Styles by pinfall. The United States Championship, Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Paul immediately slid out of the ring, telling Owens and Orton to fight. Instead, the challenger followed Logan outside and delivered punches and chops before taking turns bouncing Paul's head off the break the ring apron. Orton and Owens continued the double teaming until finally realizing it would have to break down into a fight. When both tried to pin Paul, Orton tried to sneak in an RKO on Owens, but was fought off. There was a bunch of punching going on to Owens and Orton, but finally Logan Paul defeated Kevin Owens and Randy Orton to retain the the United States Championship, The SmackDown Women's Championship, Io Sky versus Bayley. Bayley hit a dive on Sky early in the match, ramming Bayley's leg. Sky took advantage, ramming Bayley's leg, into the ring post and locking in a modified single crab, hanging off the ring post. There was a lot of back and forth between the two, including a Bayley to Bayley for a 2 count. The two brawled before a backbreaker and moonsault from Sky, but Bayley kicked out before the referee reached 3. The winner of that match, and it was a bit long, so I'll cut to the chase. Bayley defeated Io Sky to win the title. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship main event was next. Finally, Roman Reigns, champion, versus Cody Rhodes, Bloodline Rules match. As the arena filled with Cody chants, the two men slowly looked around before meeting in the center of the ring for a stare down. Rhodes locked Reigns up for a from behind, but ate an elbow and was dropped seconds later by a shoulder block. Rhodes got rolling a bit before moving out of the way of a Reigns spear in the corner, sending Reigns shoulder first into the ring post. That was awesome. Rhodes slid a table into the ring. But Reigns hit a drive-by and slid the table back under the ring. Reigns continued to slide away when Rhodes had another advantage, eventually leading to Reigns grabbing a kendo stick and delivering several shots. Reigns continued to exploit the lack of disqualifications, digging into Rhodes' eyes to break a figure four. The fight spilled into the crowds, with the pair brawling before Rhodes hit a suplex on an equipment platform. After getting back into the ring, Reigns countered a disaster kick into a power bomb. From there, the match slowed a bit, with Reigns largely taking over the qualification in the ring. Sorry about this. Until both men were simultaneously dropped by the clothesline. Rhodes made a big comeback, culminating in a power slam and a disaster kick for a 2 count, and back outside the ring they went. Reigns hit a low blow and a power bomb, throwing the commentary desk into dismay, throwing Rhodes back into the ring and connecting with a Superman punch for another near fall. A Cody Cutter moments later got Rhodes on his own 2 count. Rhodes also hit a spear for another 2 count. After the spear, Rhodes hit a crossroads before going for a second, only to be super kicked by Jimmy Uso. This is where the match really started to pick up. Jimmy Uso kicked him with a super kick. Reigns hit a Superman punch, and Jey Uso ran down, battling with his twin brother, before spearing him off into the entrance ramp. Back in the ring, Reigns hit a spear, but Rhodes managed to kick out. Rhodes drove Reigns out of the ring to break a guillotine chokehold and speared Reigns through the ring barricade. Rhodes hit the crossroads twice, but was hit by a Samoan spike from Solo Sikoa, similar to last year's title shot. As he went for a third, Sikoa dragged Reigns on top of Rhodes, but Rhodes again managed to kick out. Reigns and Sikoa hit a culmination spear and Samoan spike, but Rhodes managed to kick out yet again before John Cena, surprise, music hit, and he ran into the ring, knocking Sikoa from the ring and hitting Reigns with a attitude adjustment. Cena then put Sikoa through the Spanish commentary desk, which brought out the final boss. The Rock ducked a Cena punch and delivered a rock bottom, as Rock took a weight belt off and waited to hit Rhodes, the Shield music hit, and Seth and Rollins attempted to slide into the ring with a chair, but was hit by a Reigns Superman punch. Before Rock could do anything further, The Undertaker's gong sounded, and the lights went out. When they came back on, The Undertaker was standing behind The Rock and delivered a choke slam before disappearing after the lights went back out. Rather than attacking Rhodes, Reigns struck Rollins in the back of the chair with the back of the chair, remnants of when Seth and Rollins betrayed the Shield 10 years ago. Rhodes countered a spear with a kick and delivered a trio of crossroads before the 3 count to win the championship. 1, 2, 3. The match was insanely overlooked, but in the best way. The opening stretch felt a bit plotting in a lot of ways, but that was because everyone knew the mess of interference was coming, and it felt like there was no way anything too meaningful could happen before we saw Jimmy Uso, Sikoa, and the final boss, The Rock. Rhodes getting help from Jey Uso, Cena, Rollins, and The Undertaker was the kind of wild mess that only makes sense at WrestleMania. Cody Rhodes defeated the Roman Reigns reign to win the title. Mess that only, sorry about that. Cody Rhodes defeated Roman Reigns, to win the title, ending his over 1,000-day reign. I apologize for the length of this video, but I wanted to give you a bit more detail in the matches of WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. If you guys like this video, all my information is in the description below. Feel free to comment, feel free to share, subscribe, click the like button, everything, all that fun stuff. Everything again is in my description below. And I'm also on Patreon, so if you want to see more pay-per-view stuff like this, I'm on Patreon if you want to support me there. Thank you, and until Monday, keep smiling, everyone.